Good morning, everyone. This is Nathan Lindorf with The Rational Independent. Today we're covering an article from NPR that actually had some useful reporting in it. What do you know? Let's jump right in. Headline: Biden says rich must pay their fair share at a re-election campaign rally. All I'm going to say about this headline is simply this. There are political terms in the lexicon today that have no actual meaning. So there's no point debating a term that is intentionally vague. Terms like assault rifles are intentionally vague, lacking in real definition. So there's no point in debating them. Pay their fair share is another one. Define what you mean by fair share mathematically, and then we can have that conversation. Until then, all I hear when you say that is tax the rich, eat the rich, go after the most economically productive people in our society and punish them for being productive, and then be shocked by the fact that that hampers the economic productivity of America. They talk about pocketbook issues in this article. They talk about the fact that it's the economy stupid is one of the oldest political adages out there. American politicians want to brag about a growing economy, but they also, some of them, want to punish those who grow the economy. These are contradictory purposes. Take that for what you will. Moving on, we actually have some interesting news here. Several of the nation's most powerful unions, including the AFL-CIO, American Federation of Teachers, and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, officially endorsed Biden's campaign on Friday. I loved this because it showcases something that is so often lost in the noise of our political conversation. You might have heard, perhaps especially if you're a Reddit user, you might have heard that the NRA controls Republican politicians, that the NRA with their big money, that the gun lobby has a vice grip on American politicians, even though the public really wants gun control to come in. Somehow the NRA magically controls these politicians. They make the NRA a boogeyman. In 2020, the NRA contributed approximately $50 million to politicians across the nation. That's a lot of money. That's definitely something to pay attention to. However, that in 2020, the labor unions, including public sector unions, contributed approximately $2 billion to elections around the country. So which one of these do you think has a greater impact on the electoral process? I know what I'd vote for. And this is setting aside the fact that several of these unions that were listed here are public sector unions. Public sector unions are bonkers. They should be illegal. And here's why. Most of the time, a union negotiates between management and labor. It allows union members, labor, to collectivize their own voices so that they have a more equal place at the table with management. And therefore, they can make sure that the workers are getting paid fairly. That is the best case I can give for the purpose of a union. Doesn't always work out that way, but in an ideal world, that's what a union is supposed to do. And both of these parties, management and union, the workers, are trying to create an organization that is as profitable as possible. So they're trying to meet the needs of their customers. Because both of them understand that the size of the pie they're negotiating over changes by how productive they are in the economy. Here's where public sector unions take that idea and turn it on its head, okay? Public sector unions are a collection of people, union members, who are negotiating with management. But management effectively means the politicians that are controlling the amount of funding that go towards those public sector employees. In other words, they are not negotiating over the value that they are producing, over the voluntary market participants that are engaging with their organization. They are arguing over how to get paid more from the taxpayer. Well, guess who has the power to raise taxes? Politicians. So what they're saying is, hey, politicians, will you please take more money from that third party and give it to us? And if you do, we'll vote for you and help you get reelected. It's a legal vote-buying scheme paid for by the U.S. taxpayer. It invites corruption. It's awful. So, we just gloss over all that. The AFL-CIO, all the public sector, unions and whatever. This is all just this. We like union. This is steel workers, kindergarten teachers, and whatever. It's pandering is what it is. It's kind of gross. And then the last paragraph that I liked that we wanted to dig into is the union endorsements followed Wednesday's joint endorsement from major environmental groups, a back-to-back backing by design, according to a campaign official, meant to demonstrate that tackling climate change through green jobs does not threaten workers' rights. You can care about the environment and not want to give all your money to the government. That's possible. You can care about the world and climate change and all of those other concerns and not endorse the Democratic Party platform. The way they're describing this is that the people who care about the environment are these environmental lobbyists. And these lobbying groups, shockingly, believe that the best way to combat climate change is through massive government spending and control of the economy. It's funny how that works. Hey, there's problems with the healthcare. We should fix it through massive government spending and control of that section of the economy. Hey, there's some banking irregularities going on here. There's some bank instability. We should fix it through massive government spending and control of that sector of the economy. Hey, we've got some bumpy roads. I know. We can fix it with massive government spending and control of that sector of the economy. Hey, we've got some kids that aren't learning properly and they have low test scores. Oh, I know. We can fix it through massive government spending and control of that sector of the economy. Hey, we've got some climate issues, some smog and pollution and litter in the waterways and all sorts of, industrial waste and whatever. Yeah. Shoot, I don't have any idea how to fix it. Oh, wait, I know. We can fix it through massive government spending and control of those sectors of the economy. It's almost like it's a solution in search of a problem. I've talked to many people on the left, almost universally. They believe that if something is not legislated, if something is not enforced through regulation, it won't happen. That's why they distrust private charity, because private charity relies on voluntary contributions. It's why they like taxation as a method of solving problems, because taxation rests on force or the threat of force. I don't go so far as my libertarian friends. I believe we need taxation in order to function as a society. I believe we need laws and regulations. But I would analogize it to fire. A little bit of fire can keep you alive. A lot of fire is going to burn you alive. And the trick with government is to figure out how to have a little bit of it, because a little bit goes a long way. Too much government is just as dangerous as too little. So I'm afraid we're in a Goldilocks and the Three Bears sort of situation there. That's my Reddit rant for today. Looks like we are heating up in the primary cycle. And I want to know, what are your thoughts on the idea that President Biden apparently isn't going to debate anybody? The Democratic Party just says, you know what, we have an heir apparent. We don't need a debate. All right, I'll leave it there. Good luck out there.